Hey guys, hadn't been on here in a minute, figured I'd jump on here. I've been wanting to do a video. This one might get some hate, we'll see. I wanted to talk about the whole nanny dog, right? Let's talk about it. It's a lot of controversy. You have, different sides and whatnot, who's for what, and I see all kind of stupid stuff. This is my thoughts on the nanny dog, right? I'll just ask myself, do I think this breed is a nanny dog, right? Do I believe in all that? Yeah, I do. I do think these are nanny dogs. But let me explain what a nanny is. What do you consider a nanny? I'm not talking about a mother. I'm not talking about sucking on your tit or whatever. I'm talking about these dogs being kind of, hanging out, making sure you don't get in trouble, right? When I was a kid, that's what I had. I had nanny dogs. I had, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old boys, running around fishing, shooting our BB guns, pellet guns, whatever. And we had a dog with us, I'll tell you a quick little story. There's bunches of them, but I lived in Florida and we had lakes all over, right? And so we would fish and we would wade out in the water. We would do all this stuff. My father was a mechanic, he has been his whole life. And one of the things he saw a rat a minute ago. I think it got away, but he's still after it. A little mouse or something. But so he, at this time, worked at the phosphate mines in Florida. And one of the many jobs he had, one of them was, they had old electric golf carts, right? Well, to make a long story short, he gotten one they told to get rid of. It was no good no more. And my dad's the type who can fix anything, and so he fixed it. And me and my brother went to like we do, watching our father working on it. We sanded it, we spray painted it green. We got covers for the seats, we stapled and made covers for it, and then we put a piece of plywood in the back of it, and we bolted a choker, right, a chain in the back that we could attach to or have our dogs. And we would run up and down these old dirt roads and next to the train tracks, and we would have our nanny dog with us, right? We'd have us a dog with us, and we would bring our fishing poles, and we went all over with that thing, and we would we'd always have our buddy with us, and they'd always keep after us, watch over us, for whatever crap we might get into. It kept some of the bums or whatever, and some of the people maybe that were a little rough around the edges, they stayed the heck away from us when you show up with a dog like that. They not going to run over to you and greet you. And then and I'm not saying these dogs are people aggressive, don't get that twisted, but there's something, some people just don't want to come up to some dog, and they don't know what it is, they don't care. And I'm not telling them, hey, this dog's friendly, so just the warning way of strangers. And then animals and stuff. Heck, if a gator were to get us, we had one dog we called Gator because he was gator bait. A gator will snatch a dog way before it'll grab a person. At least that's always been my experience. So we always had our nanny dogs with us, right? They run up and down. A raccoon you get into another stray dog, at the time. You see all kind of mutts or whatever running around. And there was another story. I gotten bit by some stray dogs, but you just don't know. But if you got your nanny dog with you, and that's the way I have always interpreted it, right? I'm not saying these things are should be with a 1-year-old baby or a newborn, or that's not the whole. I think people are missing the point. The point is these dogs, at least when I grew up, your mom and dad sent you out the front door, didn't come back until, sunset, and you had your buddy with you the whole time, right? and he watched after you. I mean, that's what he or she did. The dogs kept us. They nannied us, right? They looked after you. So I'm just getting kind of, tired of people making it like these dogs shouldn't like people, and there's no such thing as a nanny dog, and it's a selling point, and blah blah blah. Maybe to a dog peddler, anything can be a selling point, but to somebody that actually has real experience, that's kind of how my experience was asking uncles and family members. Even back then, they kind of have the same experience of having a dog, watch the kids. My grandmother had 8 children, and I remember her telling me stories how the dogs would watch the kids in the front yard and stuff for her, and even keep some from getting into the road. They would come start barking or lead kids back, so whatever you want to call it, nanny dog, buddy, pal, or whatever. At the end of the day, that's kind of what they're doing. I mean, I don't know how many nannies you got. They're not wiping your butt per se. They're not, changing diapers. Sometimes it's just a older sibling that's kind of watching over you for that day, making sure you don't, get in too much trouble or get killed or something like that. And I felt like it was just another set of eyes and another, somebody with you that can alert you when something's coming up, can alert you, something's changed or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of my view on a nanny dog. So I'm sure that'll piss some people off because they are with a passion wanting to believe there's no such thing as a nanny dog and that it's all made up. Well, I think it's just people that's never experienced the dog, never grew up with dogs, right? So say what you want about it. And too, my dogs, are great with my kids. You still got to be responsible. I'm not going to leave a newborn child alone with a dog, but again, when my son and daughter and stuff like that are a little bit older, even now, 7, 8, 9, whatever, they want to pal around with a dog out in the woods with their BB gun, then by all means, go for it, I think that's actually, hey, I see it as a nanny protecting them, watching over them, keeping an eye on them, and if a stray dog or something comes up, it's going to coyote, whatever, it's going to give my kids a chance to get back home and tell them, dad, whatever. So anyways, all right, guys, I hope you are doing good. This weather's awesome, and I'll try to make a few more of these. I've been wanting to. I've just been so busy. I'm going to try to get out to, there's an event in a week, a couple weeks or whatever. I'll try to video it. Maybe I can go live too with the dogs and stuff. So subscribe if you hadn't already, and stay tuned for something like that. I'll go live at least some of the day and be able to share a lot of the action going on live. And anyways, all right, guys, and like I've said before, like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Later.
I'll catch you on the flip side.